Hey, what do you say? Guess what? Today, it's the Swypit Show with Kevin. Of course, I am Kevin, and I am the president and CEO of Swypit. You can always go to our website at swipit.com, swipe it with a Y. And of course, if you're watching this video and you like it, click that little like button down there. If you're seeing it on Twitter, retweet it maybe. But of course, even LinkedIn, right? Maybe LinkedIn is one of those things that you do more than anything else. Jump on LinkedIn, share it, like it. But of course, we want you to even go to some of the other people that are on the Success Network. And you know who those people are. Well, if you look up onto some of the other things, if you scroll down, you might find Mr. J. Abraham, who is the $20 billion man. And check this out. I got a pair of his socks here. He sent me a pair of his socks. It's kind of funny. Jay's a fantastic guy. I'm going to be with Jay actually tomorrow afternoon, flying into California. Going to meet with Jay. We've got some business to work out. We're going to have some fun. Who knows? Maybe we'll go for dinner. But of course, you can also check out Brian Tracy. He's also on the Success Network. And in fact, as we talk about Brian Tracy, and I moved all my books. So, yep, I don't have any books behind me, but of course, you could, use the uh, Success Network to go to Brian Tracy's channel. And then, of course, there's Jack Canfield of Chicken Soup for the Soul. You can find him on the Success Network. There's a bunch of cool people on here. I'm just happy to be part of their life. I mean, or maybe they're happy to be part of mine. I don't know. They want to surround themselves with experts, and that's what I am. I'm an expert in the field for credit card processing. If you're looking for a professional that knows what they're doing and you're looking to start working with Swypit and you need a smooth transition, as Mr. Ryan says, you want a smooth transition. Because you know what? Whenever let's say you buy a car, every time you go buy a car, sometimes it becomes a hassle, right? You go sit down at the sales desk with the guy. They want to hammer you. They got to corner you. They got to take your keys. Got to hold you hostage. And then they got to go talk to the manager. And then they come back and they're trying to get the most out of the deal. And right now you're probably paying 2 to 3, maybe even $5,000 over cost. You can't even haggle with them anymore because there's no cars to find. But at the end of the day, is it a smooth transition to get out of your old car into your new car? Well, I will tell you that I have done that transition with cars, and it's been really smooth when I'm working with Porsche, Mercedes. And I know that sounds kind of crazy, but they do really have a really smooth kind of process. I mean, I recently, my wife had a Volvo that she loved for 3 years. You had to have the soccer mom vehicle, and well, the lease was up on it. And I was like, wait a minute. I'm just going to buy this car because it's worth a crap load more. I could buy it and then sell it. Well, that transition wasn't smooth at all just for me to buy that car, you know? So, and my wife said she would never purchase another Volvo because of the financing. So now I'm going to have to write a check if she wants a Volvo next time. I don't know. Smooth transition in different types of car dealerships, car organizations. Obviously, maybe it depends upon the dealership. I don't know. I don't want to badmouth the stuff. My wife loved the Volvo. She loved driving it. It was really good, but it served its purpose. And she wanted something a little smaller. So we got something else. I went back to one of my connections. He hooked us up. I got the car in 2 days, and it was a simple process. The plates came in. They told us when the plates were ready. Smooth, easy, simple. Now, let's talk about credit card processing on the business side. It could be a hassle because if you deal with people that are burning you over and over and over, you probably go, oh my God, what a pain in the butt to switch this credit card processing. And that's why you don't do it, right? So you want to pay him more, you're stuck in where you're at, and you don't want to be stuck there. You want to switch. You want to be more profitable. And I'm going to tell you, you can do that, be more profitable and have a smooth transition of switching from whomever you're working with to working with Swypit. And we work with all the processors. So if you are already working with this one and you want to go to this one, or you're working with this one and you want to go to this one, I don't care where you're going. We're going to put you where we actually think you should be, not where you want to be. Does that make sense? Because there's really different factors of when you switch providers in many different things, and how you work with professionals to actually make that transition could make your life simple or difficult. You know what I find is sometimes somebody just forgets to check a box, and that one box creates so much problems for people that they're like, "Oh my gosh, this is a nightmare." That one little box could be the difference between you getting your funds 1 day, 2 days, or maybe even 5 days. Imagine processing credit cards and waiting 5 days for your funds. And it's like, I need money, right? I mean, right now, this day and age, most everything is 1 day. You typically, if you settle before a certain specific time today, which is the way it should be, deposit tomorrow. That's typically how it should be. You know, if you're a restaurant, well, it's not going to be tomorrow, it's going to be the next day. But I do have a processing company that if you don't care about certain factors of how they work, they'll get your money to you in about 4 to 6 hours. I mean, think about that for a minute. 4 to 6 hours. Now, to have a depository account for your funds that works in, you have to work with certain banks. So if you work with Chase or Bank of America or Wells Fargo, you know, all the big, huge gazillion dollar bank organizations out there, they're probably part of that network that will allow that 4 to 6 funding capability. And when you switch over with us, it's just all automatic. Pretty cool. And, you know, now we've got smooth transition. You've got your funds coming in faster. You know, another little thing that causes people grief for a smooth transition is maybe you're doing 30, 60, 90 days later and you start getting a ton of chargebacks. And you're like, wait a minute, what the heck is going on? Well, let's say the name of your company is Jimmy's Burger Joint, but your corporation name, your LLC, your partnership, your corporation, that name itself, maybe it's um I don't know, maybe it's Copilot Organization LLC. And Copilot LLC, when that comes up on my statement, I'm going, what is Copilot LLC? I don't even know where that's at. So I call up my card issuer and I go, "Hey, I wasn't at this place." And they go, "Okay, how much money do you want back?" "Well, it says $50. I want my $50 back." So now there's a chargeback to that consumer, to that merchant, by the consumer, by me, because I didn't recognize the name on my statement. That's called a card descriptor. The card descriptor, if it's incorrect on an actual application and it goes into the system, the people that are keying it into the system, they don't know what it's supposed to be. It's the guy that's signing you up. So if you're dealing with somebody that's new in the business, doesn't understand the complexities of what could actually happen if you make this mistake, you could have tons of chargebacks. And you know what a chargeback is? A chargeback is when a consumer sees something they don't recognize on their statement. They call the card issuer. The card issuer in turn says, "Okay, we'll give you your money back." And then you get your money back. The merchant's like, "What the heck's going on here? How come we're getting so many chargebacks for our food place? People ate here. They're saying they were never here." Well, that's why you want to work with a professional. You got to get the details correct in anything that you do when it comes to your money. And a smooth transition working with professionals for your merchant services account, these are hard to find professional organizations. They all say, "Oh, we're the cheapest, we're the cheapest, we're the cheapest, we're the cheapest." You know, if I had a dime for everybody that wanted everything to be the cheapest and they wanted everything perfect, well, you need to check up from the neck up. And you have to remember that the cheapest guy is going to be out of business soon. The cheapest guy is not going to be there when you need them. And they are surely not the professionals in the business because their main selling focus is being the cheapest. Cheapest, cheapest, cheapest. It drives me out of my mind. This is why you'll never hear me say cheap. I don't say those words. You know why? Because I make businesses more profitable by setting them up right the first time. And if you get set up right the first time, you're going to be more profitable. There'll be a smooth transition. And then you're going to be like, wow, you made this so easy for me. We just brought on a whole new donut franchise organization. And the person that was on the other phone talking to her, she goes, hey, I've got one here, I got one here, we're opening up a new one. And I said, that's great. She goes, I'm working with this company and I'm working with this company on these other two locations, but I was referred to you and they said you could fix a lot of our problems. And I said, well, I don't know what your problems are, but let's see what happens. And of course, we got them set up. It took a couple of days. Product was ordered, shipped out to them. And she goes, we've never worked with somebody that worked this fast. It's taken us 3 to 4 weeks for stuff to get done with this other company. There's no support, there's no help. And I'm just amazed of how it's so simple and easy to give people service and make these changes simple, right? You want it fast, easy. Like, where's the easy button, right? I do this for clients. I don't even know why it's so hard to just give people the service that they want. That's what makes me successful is I give people what they want, not what they don't want. I give them the truth. And I've said to them, listen, I don't know if that's a good thing for you to purchase. I don't want to sell it to you. This isn't a good idea. And then when they do, I've got to go, I told you not to do that. I just, I just, I want to make things easy. How do we make things easy if you're fighting the professional that is telling you the best things that are good for you? And I know sometimes, I'm a little hot-headed, a little hard-headed, and I'm like, I want it. I want it. Well, then I make the mistake and I'm like, darn it, I should have listened to them. But the problem is we just never know who professionals are, right? So sometimes we're a little not trusting, and that's why when it comes to making changes myself, I kind of wait to see certain stuff. I probably do a little Google search to find out if they have a whole bunch of problems or issues, somebody complaining about them because there was this bad transition. We want to make things easy in a transition. If you're not getting an easy transition with us, it's because maybe something else that you have done that's complicated the process. But we've got this down pat with thousands of clients all over the country, thousands and thousands that we've signed up over the past almost 25 years. We know what works best for our clients. We're going to check the right boxes. We're going to check the box that is there to make sure that you don't even have to worry about that. That's what it's like to work with a professional. Here's a perfect example of one of my clients calls me up a couple of days ago and he goes, I want to start charging fees for the credit cards. And I'm like, why? He says, well, it's just costing me so much money. Well, during the pandemic, he had to change how he was doing business. And most of his clients now, 80% are delivery. So he went from being 100% walk in to 80% delivery. I couldn't believe it. And he's like, I'm just paying too much. I got to switch to one of these companies that are going to charge the fee. And I said, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to make some changes that are going to help you be more profitable. It's still going to pay a little bit more because your transition so drastic, but we don't want to make such drastic changes that when you go back to having more 80%, I'll say 80%. In this case, 60% is going to start walking in again here shortly. They're in an area of the country where there's still a whole bunch of, stuff going on. I don't know. I won't go into the politics of things. But I said, let's look at what you're doing and how you're doing the transaction. In this case here, he has a credit card terminal. And this is one of the latest, greatest machines nowadays. This happens to be a Verifone T650C. And I'm one of the only companies in the country that offers this product. Well, this is like it's kind of like an iPhone, right? It's kind of cool, but it's just a touch screen. Well, it's not portable. You can't take it. It's usually cables and, a power cable, but it does connect to your business Wi-Fi. But I'm holding it so it's easy to show you. But let's just say when you're doing a transaction and it's a retail transaction, so face to face, type in the amount, press enter. The customer sticks their card in, or you put their card in, it spits out a receipt, easy peasy, it's gone. But if you're hand keying the transactions like this merchant has been doing for so long and complaining about fees, what he's been doing is there's certain things the card issuers ask for when a transaction takes place. So he'll type in the amount, and then since he can't chip the card, he presses enter, and now it says is the card present, yes or no? So if you press the card present no, it will then prompt for specific information. So it'll ask for the address. So if you lived at 123 ABC Street, because this is a touchscreen, you could actually put in 123 ABC. If you don't have one of those kinds of terminals, you would just put in 123, which is the actual part of the address that the card issuer is going to recognize. Press enter. Goes to the next field, and it's going to ask for the zip code. You put in the zip code, go to the next field, and it's going to ask probably for a CVV. Now, when you're doing all those things with the terminals and how we set people up, we're going to gather as much information that the card issuer is requested at the time of that transaction, which qualifies for what? The best rate structures. So, what do you think he was doing? He was just typing in the card number, pressing enter, and bypassing all of the screens asking for all that stuff. And then he calls up and he's yelling at us because he's not gathering all the information the card issuer wants. Now, we checked the boxes to make sure that the terminals did ask for that information specifically. And I was able to identify that within the conversation. Now, are we going to be able to save him gazillions of monies on that? We're going to make him more profitable because I sent him new equipment that's going to force him to do those things now. So there's not going to be any go around. And that makes me feel better because now we can train them to gather the information. You know why that merchants don't ask for that information or why they're doing the transaction? They're lazy. And I called him. I said, "You're being lazy." He goes, "It just takes too much time. It's a pain in the butt. I don't want to do it." And I go, "Well, how long you been doing it? And now look at all the extra monies you paid because you didn't listen to us or follow what we put in place." He goes, "Oh, okay." So now he's going to be more profitable because he's starting to listen to us. Now, granted, this is a very good friend of mine, and did give him a little more grief than I would give the average client because I've known him for the past 30 years. In fact, I used to work for his father. It was one of my first jobs I ever worked at. But, every time that I get the opportunity to tell people what they really need to do, I've got to explain it to each individual in a different way. But if you're a business owner and you've been, thinking that you might be getting burned or you've been burned and you're thinking the next company you go to is going to burn you again, think of Swypit. We'd be happy to help you and maybe do anything that you can do that would be really, really helpful in being profitable in your business. Thanks, Melissa. It is good information. But of course, we're here to help you. We're not here to, you know, sign you up and say, "See you later, bye," and never help you. We make such a small profit on your merchant account that we're trying to create these long-term relationships. And when you have a long-term relationship, you just have to make money in the long run, not, you know, like this. We don't want to make money like crazy money. We want to make a little bit. So it's called pennies, nickels, and dimes. And those pennies, nickels, and dimes that we're making on a merchant account, really, it's all about volume. And when you're processing billions and billions, it's a volume thing. But we're just trying to help our clients do the best that we can for them. Of course, we're here to help people. We don't want to hurt them. But, if you have any questions, you can always give us a ring at 877-379-9748. You could see us on LinkedIn. You can message me on LinkedIn. And if you do message me on LinkedIn, I'm going to ask you this one question. Make sure that you said, "I watched your show and I'm interested in more information about certain factors." And then that will give me the ability to be able to help you and do whatever it is, have a conversation. But I get so many people that want to connect with me on LinkedIn. "Hi, I have this product in our service and I think we'd be a good fit." Dude, stop sending me those messages. I'm not answering those. I mean, get a new tactic when you're trying to, get yourself in front of people. I'm so enamored with these things that I'm just like, they need a new marketing company. And that's what's also happening. People are using the same marketing company. I got a really good marketing company. It's not going to do that. And they could help you. If you were part of our inner circle, we would obviously recommend people that could help you in your business and maybe have a smooth transition to a new marketing company, right? Smooth transitions. And I find that I want to surround myself with professionals. And the reason I want to surround myself with professionals is because they will then have a smooth transition. Again, it's all about the experience of when you do these transitions. We actually transition companies so easily on their credit card processing. We make it easy for them to leave us. Who does that? Well, I do. I do. Because I'm never going to give you a chance to leave me. I'm not going to give you a reason to leave us. We're going to set you up right the first time, and that you are going to want to tell all of your friends, family, relatives, and I don't care where they are in the whole country. We don't have to be there. If you're a big enough company and you need some assistance and there's so much convoluted stuff going there, I will fly there. I will come to you. Yes, I do that. I'm doing it all the time. It's because we care about people. And you know what? People help people. And that's why we've been very successful at what we do. And we want to do the best we can for you. But, obviously, we've got 20 minutes into the show today, and we're very excited to be talking about what it's like for a smooth transition to work with Swypit. You're watching the Swypit Show on the Success Network. I am Kevin Hodes, and we love our clients. And if you want to reach us, like us, tweet us, I don't care how you reach us, just call us. We're going to be here for you. Brian, go ahead and take us out until the next time you see me on the Swypit Show.